Hello everyone. Hi, this is Alok Ojha. Welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. My friends, we are going through the series of classroom series precisely of modern Indian history, wherein we have covered many topics by now. Let me give you a small example. By now, we have covered topics such as Portuguese, Dutch East India Company, English East India Company, struggle for supremacy, that is French East India Company, and Anglo-Carnatic Wars in quite depth and detail. Apart from this, we have also seen the Third Battle of Panipat, which was fought in 1761, followed by, specifically, we have also seen about Battle of Plassey, fought in 1757, and Battle of Buxar, fought in 1764. My friends, right now we are going through different charter acts, and we have covered three important charter acts. Okay, like Regulating Act 1773, Pitt's India Act 1784, a short glimpse on Charter Act 1793, and Charter Act 1813. Today we are going to focus precisely on Charter Act 1833, the last charter, that is Charter Act 1853, and Government of India Act 1858. Like the previous session, it's a small request to every one of you to have a pen and paper along with you so that you can note down the important points. Okay? I'll be citing you certain examples as well, and these examples would be helpful to you. Okay, my friends? So without wasting any more time, let's begin today's short session. Clear? Now, before I begin with Charter Act 1833, let me give you a short glimpse of 2 minutes so that the aspirants, those who are new to the platform, can easily correlate the things that we have studied previously. Okay? Precisely speaking, there were three major presidencies of Britishers in India: Bombay, Bengal, and Madras Presidency. And all these presidencies had their respective governors. Like there was a separate governor for Bombay, separate for Madras, and separate for Bengal. But the governor of Bengal, as per Regulating Act 1773, was designated as Governor General of Bengal. And the first Governor General of Bengal was Lord Warren Hastings. Clear? Specifically, we have seen the structure of the entire English East India Company in the previous videos. Now, please pay attention carefully, because when I would be explaining the structure of Charter Act 1833, I would be correlating the previous charters as well. Clear, my friends? So please pay attention carefully. Let's begin with Charter Act 1833. Charter Act 1833 is also referred as St. Helena Act. Now, why it is referred as St. Helena? St. Helena, it's an island in Atlantic Ocean, and it was transferred from English East India Company to the British Crown in the same year. Hence, it is referred as St. Helena Act as well. Okay? Now, as per Regulating Act 1773, the Governor of Bengal was designated as Governor General of Bengal. And now, as per Charter Act 1833, the Governor General of Bengal is now designated as Governor General of India. And the first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. Lord William Bentinck is known for his different works that he has done in India. Let me give you a small example. Like Lord William Bentinck, he had abolished the double batta system. He had imposed duty on the cultivation of opium in the region of Malwa. Lord William Bentinck, with the efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy ji, banned sati in the region of Bengal on 4th December 1829. So there are many works related with Lord William Bentinck that we will see in the further part, specifically when we'll study about the Governor Generals. For now, just remember one important aspect, that as per Charter Act 1833, Governor General of Bengal was now designated as Governor General of India, and the first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. Clear? Let's move ahead. Now, pay attention carefully. As per Regulating Act 1773, I've told you I'll be correlating the previous acts as well. As per Regulating Act 1773, Governor General's Executive Council consisted of 4 members. Correct? Like we had seen, Warren Hastings was there, and there were different members as a part of his council, such as Richard Barwell, George Monsoon, Philip Fransip, and so on. So here, what happened at 1773? There were 4 members in Governor General's Executive Council. In 1784, the number of members were reduced to 3. Okay? And 1 member was British Commander-in-Chief of the Army, directly appointed by the British Crown. Now again, as per Charter Act 1833, Governor General's Executive Council has been increased from 3 to 4. Please do not get confused. Aspirants, those who are new to the platform, it's a request, please watch the previous video so that you can easily correlate the different aspects. Okay? I'll repeat. As per Regulating Act 1773, Governor General's Executive Council consisted of how many members? 4. As per Regulating Act. Now reduced to 3 as per Pitt's Act 1784. Again increased to 4 as per Charter Act 1833. Okay? As per Charter Act 1833, the first Law Commission was being appointed. And the first Law Commission held its meeting in 1834. And specifically, they came up with the recommendations around 1837. And this commission is also referred as Lord Macaulay Commission. Why it is referred as Macaulay Commission? There's a reason behind this. Because Lord Macaulay was the chairman of the first Law Commission. And there were 3 other members as well. Okay? Like J.M. MacLeod, G.W. Anderson, and F. Millett. These were the members of the first Law Commission. And the chairman was Lord Macaulay. Hence, it is also referred as Macaulay Commission. Like, although they came up with recommendations around 1837, but finally, these recommendations were being implemented after 1857. Okay? Like, I'll give you a small example. The Civil Code, it was implemented approximately around 1859. Indian Penal Code around 1860. Criminal Procedure Code around 1862. So these recommendations were being implemented at a later stage. But as per Charter Act 1833, Law Commission was being appointed under the chairmanship of Lord Macaulay. Clear? Moving further. Specifically, steps were being taken for abolition of slavery at this time. Now, let me give you a small example for bonded labor. Okay. Now, this is 1833. I'll just give you a small example so that you can easily correlate things and easily understand things. Okay. In 1875, what was there? Deccan Uprising took place, and it was a peasant revolt against the Britishers plus against the moneylenders. Why? A small example I'm giving you, okay, so that you can easily correlate and understand things. Specifically, in the region of Deccan, there was a Rayatwari system. And as a part of Rayatwari system, Britishers directly collected the revenue from the peasants or the farmers. Suppose I'm a peasant, and if I'm not able to pay the money to the company, the Britishers, what will the Britishers do? Britishers will seize my land. So in that case, what will I do? I will take money on loan from zamindar or a money lender. And this money lender, he's charging high revenue or he's charging high interest. In that case, if I am unable to pay what we say interest rate to the money lender, what will he do? He will seize my land. So as a part of Rayatwari system, being a farmer, I am duly exploited. On one side by the Britishers, on the other side by the money lender. So in that situation, what happened? I am forced to work at a very minimal rate or free of cost on the land of moneylender or zamindar. And that is nothing but bonded labor, a kind of a slavery. Correct? I'll give you another example. You can Google this. Hali system. Hali system specifically was prevalent in the region of Gujarat and Rajasthan majorly. And it's a kind of a bonded labor system, wherein the peasants were forced to work on the lands of moneylenders, zamindars, either free of cost or at a very minimal rates. Why? Because they had taken loans from these zamindars or moneylenders. So abolition of slavery was one of the most important aspects of Charter Act 1833. Clear? Moving ahead. Board of Control. If you remember one thing, Regulating Act 1773, there was nobody above the English East India Company, precisely Court of Directors, to have a control over them. So what happened? As per Pitt's India Act 1784, Board of Control consisting of 6 members was being appointed to have a look over the working pattern of the company. And the members of the Board of Control were being paid out of Indian revenues. Correct? That was as per 1784. So, company managed the commercial functions, Board of Control managed the political functions. Now, as per Charter Act 1833, what will happen? The chairman of the Board of Control would now be designated as Minister of Indian Affairs. Clear? Next. This clause was never implemented. Just listen to this clause. It was decided that we will divide the Bengal presidency, or we will split the Bengal presidency into 2 parts. One was Agra presidency and the second one Fort William presidency. But this decision was never implemented. So, but this was a part of the clause, or it was a clause, one of the clauses of Charter Act 1833. And the last important one, okay, bishops. I've told you one thing, and we had discussed about this in Charter Act 1813, that as per Charter Act 1813, Christian missionaries were allowed to come in India and preach Christianity. Correct? And in that case, if they are allowed to preach Christianity, they started forceful conversion into Christianity, and Christianity started spreading a lot in different parts of India. So as per Charter Act 1833, it was decided that we should increase the number of bishops to 3. So number of bishops were increased to 3. And last but not the least, if you remember, my friends, I've spoken about Lord Cornwallis. As per Pitt's India Act 1784, it was being decided that a proper examination of civil services would be conducted for entry into the company's service. And at that time, the Governor General, Lord Cornwallis, who is also referred as blue-blooded aristocrat, he laid down westernization of public service, wherein Indians were not allowed to sit in the civil services examination. But Lord William Bentinck, he is credited with laying down the Indianization of public services. Very simple words, Indians were allowed to sit in the civil services examination. Correct? So in very simple words, fair and impartial treatment given to the Indians in civil services exam. Hope the point is clear. I'll repeat the point again in short. Hence, I've told you, please have a pen and paper along with you so that you guys can note down the important clauses and important points. Okay? I will repeat these points again within next 30 seconds. Please note them down or listen to me patiently. Charter Act 1833 is also referred as St. Helena Act. Why? Because St. Helena Island, which is a part of Atlantic Ocean, was being transferred from English East India Company to the British Crown. Now, as per Charter Act 1833, just hold on for a second. As per Charter Act 1833, Governor General of Bengal was now being designated as Governor General of India. And the first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. Specifically, initially, Governor General was assisted in performance of his duties by an executive council consisting of 4 members. They were reduced to 3 as per Pitt's India Act 1784, again increased to 4. First time, the Law Commission was being appointed for codification of Indian laws. And the Law Commission was being appointed under the chairmanship of Lord Macaulay. There were 3 other members as a part of the commission, such as J.M. MacLeod, G.W. Anderson, and finally F. Millett. The commission submitted its recommendations around 1837, but they were finally implemented after the revolt of 1857. I had given you an example. Around 1859, the Civil Code, Penal Code around 1860, and the Criminal Code around 1862. The Act also took steps for abolition of slavery. Then, Board of Control. The chairman of Board of Control was now given a different designation. And what was that? It was Minister of Indian Affairs. This clause, when it was decided that the Bengal presidency would now be split into two major presidencies, Agra Presidency and Fort William Presidency. But this decision was never implemented. Okay? Proper, fair and impartial treatment to Indians in the civil services examination. Hence, Lord William Bentinck is also referred as, or he's said as that, like he laid the foundation of Indianization of public services. And finally comes, specifically, the number of bishops were being increased to 3. Hope the point is clear, my friends. I'm explaining these points in a step-by-step manner for easier understanding of the concepts. Clear? Let's move ahead. Charter Act 1853. It is considered as the last charter. Why it is considered as the last charter? Because after this, it is said that the company's rule in India ended and was followed by the rule of the British Crown or the British Parliament in India. So what was the major clauses of Charter Act 1853? Let's explore. If you remember, my friends, I have explained you this concept time and again, multiple times. English East India Company, it's a shareholders company. It's a joint stock company. There are multiple shareholders. For example, if there are 125 shareholders, they are referred as court of proprietors. So these 125 shareholders, what do? They choose among themselves 24 as a court of directors who are going to frame rules and regulations for the company. Correct? We have seen this previously. Now what happened? As per Charter Act 1853, the number of the court of directors. Now let me give you one more information. Previously, before Regulating Act 1773, the election for the court of directors was held annually. But after Regulating Act 1773, the election for the court of directors was held once in 4 years, and that too for 1/4 of the seats. The retired members could not be re-elected. Okay? So, specifically speaking, what happened here? Here specifically, number of court of directors were 24. Now, as per Charter Act 1853, which is the last charter, the number of members have been reduced to 18. Out of 18, 6 were nominated directly by the British Crown. One was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. One was the other judge. Then comes 4 members from different presidencies or provinces. Bombay, Bengal, Madras, and Northwest Province, with Prayagraj or Allahabad as its capital. Clear? Moving ahead. A law commission was being appointed in England, and the basic purpose for appointing the law commission in England was to review the law that was being made by the Lord Macaulay's Commission in India. So a law commission in England was appointed as per Charter Act 1853. Then moving ahead. As per Charter Act 1853, the members of the Court of Directors, they were given certain powers. Okay. And what powers were being given to the members of the Court of Directors? Okay. Let's understand about this. What powers were being given to them? Specifically speaking, the Court of Directors were being given the power to create any new presidency. Secondly, the court of directors were given the power that if they did not like any law that was being made by Governor General and his Executive Council, they can veto that law. So these powers were being given to the court of directors. Okay? Another important aspect. Governor General's executive and legislative powers were being separated. And there were 6 other members that were being added into the Governor General's Legislative Council. And in fact, the presidencies of Bombay and Madras were deprived of their legislative functions. Clear? And finally, 3 new provinces were being created, that is Assam, Burma, and Central Provinces as a part of Charter Act 1853. Hope the point is clear, my friends. Okay? So Governor General's Executive Council, legislative and executive functions were being separated. Okay? 6 members were being appointed legislative functions. They majorly perform what? Legislative functions. And who appointed these 6 members? These 6 members were being appointed by the British Crown. Please do not get confused, my friends. These 6 members nominated, these are not the part of COD. Okay, I'll repeat the point again so that you guys do not get confused. The members of COD were reduced from 24 to 18. That's it. Governor General's legislative and executive functions were being separated. So there were 2 councils. Governor General's Executive Council and Legislative Council. 6 new members were added to the Legislative Council. And who appointed or nominated these members? The British Crown. Which included whom? Chief Justice, 1 other judge, and 4 other members from Bombay, Bengal, Madras, and Northwestern. These are the members of Governor General's Legislative Council, not the Court of Directors. Please do not get confused. Okay? If anyone, they might be confused because of the first part of the session that I've told about this. So please do not get confused. I have clarified myself. I repeat, I have clarified myself. So these are the members who are nominated by the Crown as a part of Governor General's Legislative Council. Okay? Court of Directors, they were given the power to veto any law. And finally, what happens? The governors of Bombay and Madras were being deprived of their legislative powers. Law Commission in England was being appointed to review the working of the law that was being implemented or recommendations that was being given by Macaulay Commission. And finally, Assam, Burma, and Central Provinces were being created. Clear? I want this funda to be clear. Okay? If by mistake I have told something, so I have clarified this point again. Okay, my friends? Let's move ahead. I'll repeat, these are the members of Governor General's Legislative Council, nominated directly by the British Crown. Government of India Act 1858. Now, what was the reason for Government of India Act 1858? Let's understand. Every one of us know about the revolt of 1857. And revolt of 1857 was not just because of one cause. Revolt of 1857 was due to amalgamation of different factors. Each and every section of the Indian society was being exploited by the policies of the Britishers. Rather it be the artisans, the peasants, the moneylenders, the zamindar, even the kings, even the rulers. And everyone had their own cause. What became the spark for revolt of 1857? Mixing of bone dust in the atta, that is flour, and introduction of a new rifle which is referred as Queen's Enfield rifle. The cartridge of the rifle needs to be bitten off by the teeth, and it had a coating of cow and pig meat. Cow, it's a sacred animal, it's sacred to Hindus, and pig is considered as taboo among Muslims. True? So here, this led to the spark of revolt of 1857. And specifically, in the region of Barakpur, there was a soldier referred as Mangal Pandey, 34th Regiment. He went on a rampage. He was being supported by another person, Isrul Pandey. And Sheikh Paltu Khan informed about everything to the Britishers. Finally, on 8th April 1857, Mangal Pandey ji became the first martyr of Mother India as a part of revolt of 1857. He was being followed by Isrul Pandey ji on 11th April 1857. And the martyrhood of Mangal Pandey ji and Isrul Pandey ji spread like a wildfire throughout the northern part of India. And Bahadur Shah Zafar was being declared as a representative of the Indians in the revolt of 1857. After this, Britishers followed a very brutal policy of suppression. So here, it is said that after revolt of 1857, Britishers believed that the company now needs to be liquidated. And as per Government of India Act 1858, it is said that specifically the rule of company in India was replaced by the rule of crown in India or the British Parliament. Okay. Now, at that time, the Prime Minister was Palmerston. And Palmerston had proposed that, yes, there are certain flaws, like specifically there is a change required in the working pattern in India or the administrative structure in India. The rule of the company needs to be liquidated, but there are certain flaws in the act that has been brought. But Palmerston, who was a Prime Minister at that time, he was forced to resign. And then there was a person referred as Edward Stanley. He was the first Secretary of State for India as well. He proposed he reintroduced a new bill, which became Government of India Act 1858, which came approximately on 2nd of August 1858. And the proclamation was done on 1st November 1858 at a place called as Allahabad. Let me tell you one more interesting fact, my friends. Allahabad was the capital of India for one day. 1st November 1858. Why? Because on this date, the power was transferred from English East India Company to the Britishers by the Queen's proclamation. So what are the important aspects of Government of India Act 1858? Let's explore. As per Government of India Act 1858, the rule of company was completely liquidated and followed by the rule of crown in India. Specifically speaking, here what happened? Secretary of State was being appointed. He will work on behalf of whom? The British Crown. And Secretary of State was also the member of British Cabinet. Now, Secretary of State was assisted in performance of his duties by Executive Council consisting of 15 members. Out of 15, 7 were directly appointed by the British Crown and 8 were being appointed by the COD, that is Court of Directors. Okay? Now, these 15 members are not randomly appointed. They should have served in India at least for 10 years. They should have an administrative experience at least for 10 years. And then they will become the part of the Council of Secretary of State. Indian Civil Services was being started under Secretary of State for India. And as per Government of India Act 1858, the Governor of India was now being designated as Viceroy of India. The last Governor General of India was Lord Canning and the first Viceroy of India was Lord Canning. This is all about Government of India Act 1858. Very simple words. The company's rule was being liquidated. Okay. Secondly, the power was being transferred from company to whom? The British Crown. Is it clear? Did you understand the role of Secretary of State? Who are these 15 members? Hope the point is clear, my friends. I have tried to explain these things in a gradual step-by-step manner for easier understanding of the concepts. Okay, let me add one more thing to Charter Act 1853. If you remember, we had studied Charter Act 1813. And in that I had said you, or we had discussed, that as per Charter Act 1813, the monopoly of English East India Company was ended. But monopoly was kept intact in China and tea. So it was not completely ended. But as per Charter Act 1853, there could be a probable direct question on this. the monopoly of English East India Company was completely ended as per Charter Act 1853. Hope the point is clear, my friends. Like we had discussed previously the different charter acts. Okay. And we have also discussed about acts ranging from 1773 to 1858. In the coming sessions, I would be coming on different vivid aspects such as Anglo-Afghan wars, Anglo-Sikh war, Anglo-Maratha war, Anglo-Mysore wars, the role of different governor generals, and so on. Okay, my friends. So, StudyIQ IAS has come up with the October batch, which is going to start precisely from 17th of October. And it is nothing but a fast track batch as a part of GS Foundation P2I, wherein the batches would be specifically like the lectures would be in the morning as well as in the evening. There would be proper focus precisely on prelims and mains, majorly on prelims. I repeat, majorly on the prelims part. Batches are available in English, Hindi, and corely in English, which will cater to the needs of the aspirants from southern part of India and northeastern India. And the most important being, it is quite pocket friendly, 7,999. And the batches are going to start on 17th of October. So here, specifically the interested candidates and the serious candidates, what do they need to do? Use the code that is flashing on your screen, that is Alok Live, to avail the benefits of these batches. I repeat, the code Alok Live. Hope you understood the different charter acts. With this, I'll stop my words for the day. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.